What's going on, guys? Matt here from DCLblogger.com. Going to be going through a very interesting case study today. The guys from TheBlockRunner reported that they earned 50,000 mana in the last 5 days in Decentraland. So that money comes from people playing their game. That money also comes from people purchasing the license to host their game on their land, and a bunch of different things. And since this video that came out a couple of days ago, or I think it might have been just yesterday, they messaged me and they said they made another 106,000 mana. So I think they're up to between 150 and 200,000 mana in 5 days, and about 100,000 mana currently sits at about 4,000 USD. Almost 10,000 USD in a week is crazy, of what they've done. So I'll be going through how they did that, what that revenue came from, and just the business models that are developing within Decentraland. This is just really the beginning of what could be. Decentraland is supposed to be a platform where developers can build scenes and monetize those scenes. And this is a perfect example of how that's done on a completely new level that's never really been seen before. So it's cool to see it happen. So basically, the Block Runner are a few guys that they run podcasts, and they interviewed me a while back about Decentraland. And when they got involved, they pretty much built out this game really quickly. This game right here, which is hosted on 60 minus 28 coordinates. Hey, what's up, Joe? But anyway, so this game, there's a bunch of different games you can play on each level. One, two, three. We can kind of explore the different levels, but that up there is kind of like a Pac-Man type game. The bottom one, these blocks come at you and you're supposed to jump over them. The one, I don't know if you guys can see it, but see up there how these squares are flashing. So basically it'll tell you green or blue or a particular color, and you have to jump to that square and the rest of them disappear. So basically it's about 10 mana to play one of these games, right? So you can go up and play one of these games. It's 10 mana to play. So when you play the game, you got to pay 10 mana. 10 mana is like, I don't know, maybe like 40 cents. It's quite negligible, right? And if you see at the bottom there, it says 2 tickets, daily pot's 13 mana, monthly pot is 342 mana. So basically, when you put mana to play the game, a portion of that goes towards a daily and a monthly pot. And the winner of it in the month gets all of that monthly pot. So basically, people pay to get one of the highest score for the day or the month, and then they get paid out based on what they achieve. So it's pretty cool. They've had a lot of interest over the last 7 days. So in the last 7 days, we've had Decentraland hold the treasure hunt competition where they had a lot of activity. They had about 6,000 users come in and claim prizes. 10,000 users, 12,000 active users, so people that actually jumped in and just played for fun. That didn't really open chests, but we're just going to count 6,000 because that's a conservative number. So they had over 5,000 people jump in and play their game, or play the treasure hunt and jump around and check out different seasons. Within that 7 day period, these guys had a lot of activity on purchases to play their game. And what they've done, right? So that 150,000 mana revenue that I mentioned that these guys have made in the last 7 days, about 10,000 plus has come from people actually playing the game. So they've had about 1,000 transactions, so 1,000 people or 1,000 times this was clicked and 10 mana was sent their way for people to play the game, whether it have been this game here, Block Runner, or this Pac-Man game, or whatever it may have been. And about 140,000, or maybe, I don't know the exact figures, but over 100,000 mana came from people actually purchasing the license of their game. So they've got a website called metazone.io where they list some of their different projects that you can purchase and host. Other people have also listed, so this is from Planet VR. It's pretty cool little mansions and little houses that you can build. He's very good at architecture, as you can see. These are some advertising parcels, but this is just the beginning of what is going to be, I am very interested to see what other types of games come the way here. But basically, you can purchase these projects and deploy them on your land. So Decentraland, so I think this particular one here, I believe it's hosted on 4 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of land. It's kind of like a 2x2 block. I'm pretty sure, right? So just say, considering maybe they spent about 15,000 mana per block, 60,000 mana. Say they spent 60,000 mana buying that land, and by advertising what you can do in that land, they're earning a revenue. They're selling the rights to buy different things on your land. So if I'm a landowner, I can buy these. So they say 20,000 mana of these, it's 20,000 mana to buy, 17 out of 25 of these left. So I can buy this, I guess, franchise, and say if I click into it, I can buy it and I can deploy it onto my land. I guess these are where it's deployed at the moment. Cost to play is 10 mana. You pay 20,000 mana to host it. 25 of these are minted and will ever be minted. So what they've done is they're actually selling their projects as NFTs, and it's got a limited amount. So they're not going to release any more of these particular games once they're sold. And you can host this on your land, and you get 40% as a host, and then 10% gets split towards the monthly pot, 10% daily pot, 20% creator, 20% platform. So they take a fee continuously. So you can imagine, as they keep building, this is more of a call out for developers to see this opportunity to develop your own games and build your own businesses on Decentraland, because there's a lot of people in Decentraland that own land that have no idea what to do with it. So if you're providing a solution for them, that they can now monetize it by kind of promoting this link and these games, and say, hey guys, I've got a competition coming up on my Twitter to win $50 worth of Engine coin or Neo or Mana coin. You can jump in and play these games, and the highest for the next week will get that money. And in the process, you can get people joining in and playing different games, paying money to play. 10 mana is nothing. And if you do it in a more clever way, where you're like, all right, 10 mana per game, or 50 games, or unlimited for 100 mana, then suddenly you've got people that are paying a lot more than 10 mana. So I think the monetization aspect of this can definitely be improved. But so this game is, what, 20,000 mana. This is BlockRunner, the jump game, which is, I think, the first game. So each level has a different game. Pack Runner, 18,000 mana, 25 of those left. This one is just a graffiti wall that you can just host up. 2,500 mana to buy, pretty cheap, just chuck it onto your wall. 14,000 mana for this particular game, which I believe is the one that they held a competition on. 500 left of these 500 mana to just buy this kind of like cool, multi-level building that looks pretty cool. 500 mana is nothing. 993 of those left. 8,000 mana to buy, 0 out of 1 left. What is this? Mystery egg. Behold the unknown origins of the digital egg. What power lies inside? Alright, so maybe you get some cool dragon NFT or something. Beat blocks. Alright, so it seems like they're adding more games, and you got an advertising block. But they're providing solutions for landowners that can buy and deploy these on their land. So a lot of the money or revenue they generated came from these particular sales of these projects. So if you kind of find Decentraland is like a platform where you can build different games, or you can, as a landowner, you can rent it out to people. So if for example, these guys are a developer, right? These guys, they can rent, say, my land, my 4-piece land, and just pay me like 1,000 mana a month. Then they can host examples of what they want to sell on my land and monetize the crap out of it. Like, they made 150,000 mana in 7 days. So if they were just renting my land for even 10,000 mana a month, they would be insanely profitable at this current time. So that shows you the value for landowners. It shows you the value for developers. And it also shows you that people want to play the game. So there's people joining in and actually playing these games and driving revenue back to the businesses. So it's a cycle of business that's working out. Okay, it's a complete loop that we need to work out. Because previously, games like High Fidelity or projects that have been platform projects where developers have developed or built experiences, they're only going to keep developing experiences for as long as their funds allow them to. Until it becomes a way where developers can build and actually drive revenue and money from what they build, that's really when an ecosystem starts to build out. And that's what happened with the phone app store, right? So Apple iPhones came out and they built out their app store very early in like the early 2000s or whatever, and they released their iPhone, and people started to make like really simple games. And us people used to buy those games for like $1 or $2. Used to buy simple flashlights or games for like $5, sometimes even $10. So suddenly these people that were developing those games realized, holy shit, we can make a real business out of this. And that's how the iPhone, or the kind of the phone app space, has grown so big, multi-million-dollar games, because it provided an ecosystem where developers could earn revenue from their games. So this kind of model verifies and validates that concept, which is what is the most exciting thing for me as a landowner, that developers can make money and people can buy these and landowners can make money. So for example, say I deploy one of their lands and I kind of tell them, hey guys, can you reskin this to kind of suit Axie Infinity, right? Or Matic or Engine. And then I kind of have like a promotional event where, you know, there's boards over here that kind of promote Engine Coin, some Engine game developers, and then I can say, hey, so if you play this in the next 7 days, and I can promote this on Twitter just by a simple link to my land, people jump in, they play the game, Engine will be happy because, you know, I provided some sort of a marketing opportunity. Maybe they might sponsor the game. So the money revenue can come from sponsorships. It can come from a lot of things. So I'm gonna be looking for sponsorship opportunities for different projects that might want some sort of visibility. And as long as I can drive, say, 50 to 100 people to these games, those are 50 to 100 people with money that are playing the game, that are learning about these new sponsors. So OpenSea, they can learn about what OpenSea is about as a sponsor. So there's a lot you can do. Anyway, if you guys are interested to know more and you want to hear it straight from the people that built this, check out their How We Earn 50,000 Mana in 5 Days, the TheBlockRunner podcast. They do one quite regularly. I think they do one daily, I'm not sure. But there's a lot to learn there. And it's really just a call out for developers to get involved and start building things and marketing what you can make. I think even Planet VR had some sales of his builds and deploying them on your land. As this ecosystem builds out, I think Decentraland will eventually have some sort of a marketplace where you can sell your scenes as NFTs. Eventually, I'm sure it's way down the pipeline, but that's gonna kind of promote. It's gonna be like an early app store basically, and this could be really, really big, because there's something special when it comes to 100% ownership. When you're buying these NFTs or these games as NFTs, you're kind of owning that 100%, and this ecosystem is building where the revenue is being transferred trustlessly. And when you have that sort of an ecosystem, which blockchain is providing, I don't think we're going to see an economy this big in-game. I feel like the Decentraland economy is going to be one of the biggest. In fact, Barry Silbert actually was quoted in one of his videos or interviews, because he's one of the root investors in Decentraland, one of the early OG investors in Decentraland. They have a big stake in Mana token and land. And he was quoted saying he thinks Decentraland could be as big as Google. And for me, that was a weird concept. Like I thought that was a bit too much to say, but now looking at what is possible in terms of revenue generation, and if developers get involved at a mass scale, I don't know if it's going to be as big as Google, but it's going to be big. It's going to be really, really big. Anyway, this is pretty cool to see Decentraland do. This is possible in other metaverses like Somnium Space, the Sandbox. You got this Crypto Voxel. So having some sort of this kind of developer minds that are kind of building these cool experiences that you can monetize, and then monetizing them is going to go a long way. Anyway, that's all for now, guys. I'm going to hopefully make a lot more videos. I want to see a lot more people earning money on their land. Hopefully my videos are going to be from now on about showing the utility of landowners. You know, we've had lands sell for 10,000 mana plus. If you go to the marketplace, you can see currently the cheapest price for land. Cheapest price for land is 13,000, 14, 15,000 mana for one parcel. The TheBlockRunner, I think you can even deploy those games on one parcel, but their example right there, what you saw, so this whole block was about a 4-piece estate. So if you go to estate and you look for the cheapest estate, that is 4 pieces big. Let's see what it is, probably over 60,000 mana. I wish there was better filtering here and you can just select 4 pieces. Here we go. There's a 4-piece there for 58,000 mana. Doesn't really matter where it is. Location doesn't matter at the moment, because you can just simply post a link I could just post a link of this particular scene on my Twitter, and people can start pressing. They can press a link and join the game. Um, so that's pretty cool. So at the moment, it doesn't seem like it matters where your land is, but I think as the world develops and we kind of find where the hotspots are for example, complete hypothetical, but say Disney get involved and they build out on this massive parcel, this massive estate over here, and suddenly you start to see a lot of traffic here, then surely the neighboring lands will benefit. So I think we will start to see value rise in neighboring lands once we start to see those hotspots and where they are. And that's when I think you should really worry about location. But if you just want to play around with the experience and build stuff on your land and monetize that land by sending out links to that scene, I think it really doesn't matter where you buy. Alright guys, that's it. Catch you in another video.